You're listening to Creep Geeks Podcast. So it begins again. Welcome to Creep Geeks Podcast. This is Season 10, Episode 355.
Presidents confirm UFOs, Reese's is fake, food shortage intensifies, MREs are poison, and cats don't care about you.
Yeah. You have a theory.
Yeah.
What is it?
The whole Obama going on an interview and talking about UFOs, and then Trump making the let's declassify things and all this other stuff. Why is this all going on right now? Is it to continue to distract us from the Epstein list? That's what I feel.
Oh. Okay, but anyway, moving back into the podcast. We'll discuss that in just a second. I'm Greg.
I'm Omi.
And this is Creep Geeks Podcast, where we talk about things we find to be interesting on the internet and some of our previous past experiences and experiences as we has them broadcasting from our bunker in the mountains of Western North Carolina.
Yeah.
So the Epstein list, the whole thing has been a distraction since the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more of a distraction now? I don't know. Everybody's talking about it, but what I'm afraid that everybody is going to realize here pretty soon, as bad as people think the Epstein list is, it's not as bad as they think it is.
Oh,
I'll tell you why.
think it's worse.
I don't. You can have 10, 15,000 people on that list. Those are just people that Epstein has actually dealt with. It doesn't mean they're all pedophiles, and people aren't making a distinction. So when it comes to on this list, they maybe come up, and this is not a good thing. You know, I'm not saying it's good. When they come up with like maybe 10 or 15 or 20 people the most that are pedophiles, they're going to be like, what the hell? There was 10, 15,000 people on this list because they're not making a distinction.
That distinction is being made because as we've seen in the media the past week and a half, like people are dunking on Elon right now because he's in the list too. Why? Because they sent emails and Epstein basically skipped out on meeting with Elon.
Yeah. Well,
So Elon, yes, is in the list, but he's in the list because he sent a couple of emails and Epstein was like, I'm not meeting with you. However, there are instances where other countries right now are literally hauling people out of office, arresting them, imprisoning them.
yeah.
And Bill Gates is under fire right now. He already had to cancel the AI summit in India, his appearance there. There are...
I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that this distraction is, I don't think, a distraction, what Obama and Trump said.
About UFOs?
Yeah. This is just picking up, if anything, it's more of a distraction in a different way. It's not about Epstein. They don't really care about that. It's a distraction of our military technology. What are we amassing to do right now?
Go to war.
Possibly go, we're not going to call it a war. It would be, but.
Have a conflict with Iran.
Sure. And we don't want, we're doing a display of force by moving assets and things there. And we also have countries that are like, you can't stage here, like Britain and whatever. We're not going to give away how much technology we have and what new technology we're going to bring to the table and what new technology we've already employed for different things. So, to say that UFOs are real and to say that I'm going to investigate UFOs and we should know and all of that stuff is a diversionary tactic so that you don't know what we already have. This is a way of them basically saying, without actually saying it, yes, we agree there's some weird stuff out there. And guess what, guys? Most of it's ours. We've been saying this for years because there's been patents filed on behalf of the U.S. Navy with Dr. whatever his name was about alternative propulsions and stuff like that. We've been saying about that. We've been saying that on this podcast for 5 years. Wait, have we been doing this for 5 years?
We've done a lot longer.
Pretty close.
Longer.
No, it feels like a lot longer, but And so all of that's starting to come to, some of the things that people are seeing in the skies. Why not acknowledge there's something out there without actually acknowledging that it's yours? Because that does a couple different things. It tells your enemy that, they acknowledge something's going on, but they're not saying it's theirs. Is it really theirs? Of course they're saying that because they want us to think it's UFOs, but it's really their technique. It's the whole okey doke. It keeps going round and round, and you just keep stirring the pot. It's a psyop.
I don't like that right as the interest in certain things wanes and interest in other things increases. Like, I'm going to go back to it, the Epstein list, or the nonsense going on with Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. When those things happen...
Oh, wait, what's his nonsense?
There was a threat to take away his VA benefits and his military ranking and all this other stuff. So
yeah. You know why?
Why?
Because you don't do the shit that he did.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't get this and they think he should be able to say whatever he wants. Sure. Anybody can say whatever they want. There are repercussions to saying what you said. When you are a congressman or a senator or anybody like that, and you say things of an inflammatory nature to call your troops to act against the government that you've sworn to uphold and protect along with the Constitution and the peoples, that's insurrectionist talk. People go to jail for that. When you're in the military or have served in the military or you're in that government capacity, you have a different set of rules you have to adhere to. And him being able to say what he said, if somebody acted on that, they're going to go to jail forever and nothing happens to him. He's ex-military. He knows what time it is. People that were in the military from whenever know that there is a different set of rules that you have to adhere to, and you carry that with you. And you also carry that in public service.
In public service.
So, and you can say traitoristic things or whatever, and you can stand to lose benefits. That's how it is.
In public service, I agree to like a formal censure, but we are living in a world where everything is so divided that maybe this person believes to their heart that the orders military members are receiving are unlawful. He is speaking his individual opinion. Since he is retired, he is not issuing an order.
Okay, it still falls in the same thing. He can be recalled at any time because he was an officer. So they even have a different set of standards.
I wouldn't exactly say it's like sedition.
Oh, it is. It's sedition because you have him saying that. You have other members saying the same thing. Take out ICE, do this. You can't do that. Now, here's the thing. You know when you can do that?
When
it really is unlawful and when it really does break the law. And everything that's going on with ICE, you may not like it, is legal. If it's not, you can roll your eyes all you want because if it was not legal, you would have everyone in Congress and Senate and the Supreme Court making sure that the dictator gets taken down because he's breaking law. And he's not. People don't like it. They don't like the laws because they're also ignoring that people are here illegally. And, that's a whole other thing, right? They're ignoring that and saying that the federal government is breaking the law by ejecting and taking people and getting them out of the country. I think that if you've been here long enough, then you should be allowed to stay. But that's not up to me. But when you say, and you want to incite people to go out and basically violence and everything else against, federal employees, this is what you're going to run into.
When federal contractors make such egregious visual publicly known mistakes.
As in what?
As in the body cam footage shows that woman did not hit that ICE agent.
She ran him over.
She did not. If you look
there is other body cam footage that shows him getting run over.
And then
at what point do you have to draw the line? Does he actually have to get run over before he can shoot?
That was not a risk she as a civilian took. That is a risk as a federal contractor, a federal agent, you do take. I disagree that...
Risk goes both ways. You break in someone's house.
Citizen?
Yeah, as a citizen. It's still breaking the law. You can't run up and attack a police officer. You can't threaten anyone with your car. You can't.
The footage shows otherwise. And zoomed out footage shows
You're,
otherwise.
you're not watching the entire thing, because I watched it too and said, wow, the guy defended himself.
Okay, and then there's other instances where ICE has acted. I am alarmed with the behavior, and
Okay.
other people are as well.
And that's fine. And you also can say, well, why is ICE being so aggressive with what they're doing?
Especially when some
Let's
instances,
watch some of the other videos that you see where people are throwing, softball-sized cement pieces at cars with ICE agents as they go by. They're threatening them. They're spitting on them. They're throwing bottles and everything else, just like the mob that we've seen that happened in Seattle and other places. So at what point are they supposed to just be calm, cool, and collected and not worry about all that? To do it to your level of satisfaction or to a public's level of satisfaction? Do they have to get hurt before they can hurt somebody back? Because the military has that.
yes,
And so do they. But they're also allowed to defend themselves for imminent attack, imminent threat. It's like if we're standing outside and I'm a soldier, do I have to wait for someone to stab you before I take care of them? Or can I assess the threat and take the threat out before you get harmed as a civilian?
so that again, we're calling civilians threats. We're
No,
using
we're not.
imminent threat.
If you are a civilian and you threaten somebody, then yes, you're a threat.
We're using imminent threat, and which falls under the terms of rules of engagement,
Right.
which automatically puts it at ICE versus citizen. Rules of engagement.
It doesn't
Pertain
matter if
to-
you're a citizen or not. It doesn't.
Okay.
If you run up and you punch an ICE agent and they take you out, they mace you, they arrest you, well, no shit.
Well, you know,
I'm a citizen. So being a citizen only applies when?
if ICE raids a citizen's house, which they have several times now,
Okay.
a U.S. citizen,
All right.
and doesn't
You think
find,
they don't, you think the
doesn't
federal,
find undocumented people, but then arrests or detains that U.S. citizen in sweatpants or a towel, drags them into the office, detains them for 6 to 10 hours,
that's lawful.
and
To be
never
detained for that long.
apologizes
Okay. What are
when
these-
they make a mistake.
All right. I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same instance that happens with police that kick in the wrong door and detain somebody for 24
Yes.
to 48 hours.
We talk about on this podcast Florida cops.
And you know what? There are
Mistaking-
channels you can take to file a complaint. It's not illegal.
We talk about Florida cops mistaking Krispy Kreme sugar for meth and imprisoning a man for whatever amount
3
of
days.
time.
He was in jail for 3 days.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
you know how he's going to have his apology?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to sue him.
Yes,
Okay.
but he survived. Some of these people don't have that same option.
And look, I get what you're saying. And coming from the
And-
others,
All of that, we're paying attention to the country disagreeing with itself significantly. And we're paying attention to, I hate to say it, the fact that very elite or people in power or people of influence have done horrible things with not just young ladies, but children. And those are what are populating the news cycle 24/7. And now we're going to throw in UFOs, missing celebrities. And I'm just like, okay, that's great. UFOs, missing celebrities. What about this elite group of the rich that continue to do bad, evil things? That's my conspiracy that I'm holding on to.
well, okay. I'm looking at the more immediate threat. Epstein files have been around for a long time. They were never issued until you want to paint the president as being a pedophile with no proof.
No, we've wanted to.
Listen,
And
no. Democrats have had every opportunity, and I say that because the past 2 presidents was Democrats, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have had every opportunity to do something. They didn't do it.
And those are presidents.
They had every opportunity to release the Epstein files. They didn't do it.
We are living in a world
You
where
also had the president calling for the release of the Epstein files. And guess what? It got kicked back. No, we're not going to do it. Now all of a sudden it's out. Now all of a sudden we're going to be at war with Iran. Now all of a sudden it's an issue when it could have been an issue and should have been an issue in the past 12 years.
yes.
Regardless of what you look at, I still think that the hype behind all this, and if you watch the news and they keep pounding it in, eventually the details get lost. Epstein files are terrible. I don't think there's 100,000 people that are pedophiles. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
And for every article we see, a diversionary tactic about the Epstein files, we're also missing where they come across houses full of children that are being trafficked, where a police department in Texas comes across and gets like 800 kids.
I sent you that article today where
Why
it was
aren't we seeing that?
why did they just find
Why haven't we seen that in the news?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit a narrative. It doesn't fit a narrative.
where is it?
Everybody's bad, everybody's good. As far as ICE is doing their job.
See, February 25th, dozens of missing children found in New York operation.
Yeah.
3-day operation, they found 43 missing children and teens in a
That's the real issue.
Yeah, I agree.
Why aren't we seeing more of that? And they're going to say, well, it all ties back to this now. And this is why we don't have a podcast where we talk about this stuff, because it's too divisive. I have the experience of being in the military and actually doing the base police thing and doing all. So I totally get where ICE is coming from. Are they full of yahoos? No, maybe not when they started, but now with you got people trying to mow them down with cars and everything else, they're on high alert because they get to go home to their families, right? They have their families and they're kicking people out that probably won't be able to go back to their families. Law does not care. The law says if you are here illegally in this country, you get deported, right? Mm-hmm. Circumstances be damned. ICE's job is to pick them up and put them in a place so somebody else can figure it out. Because it's always been, it's a problem of scale.
And that's the problem.
You're not dealing with 15, 20 people. We're talking millions of people. That more people came into this country in the past 8 years than have came in since they had Ellis Island opened up.
And I have had the exact opposite argument with someone else about the problem of scale. Because let's just take our tiny county, right? And we're not going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about drugs, right? And
talk about Helene benefits from.
Oh yeah, that's an even better.
It's still a problem of scale.
Yeah, there is one entire road. Granted, this road goes from the bottom of our county all the way to the top. That is still damaged by Helene, and there are homeowners who still haven't gotten any FEMA response yet.
And you know what's going to happen?
What?
So what happens when you have a problem of scale and a massive government, right? Mm-hmm. And all the bureaucracy and red tape crap. I mean, look at trying to get your license. It's ridiculous, mm-hmm. right? Go through all of that to get money from the government. Mm-hmm. What do you eventually wind up having to do?
Sue.
Yeah. Get a hold of your congressman, your senator, and they sue if they can. And that's what releases, because it draws the attention of somebody who goes, yeah, okay, I guess I got to take the bullet and I actually have to do my job.
And that's a problem of
nobody wants to take the hit.
Scale, because let's just say that is happening in our tiny little county, and that's maybe 17 or 35 people. And then
that's the problem. It's only 17 or 35 people. I sit at the top of the scale.
Yeah.
And I have to look at millions of claims. I'm not going to give a shit about 35 people.
That's the problem. If we take that whole scale thing right now, there are so many people in this country who disagree with the laws that ICE are trying to enforce. Why isn't anything being done about those laws so that this ICE situation doesn't have to happen? Like you just said yourself, if people have been in this country long enough and they are productive, what the hell? Because becoming a U.S. citizen is incredibly hard.
Yeah,
the test is ridiculous.
It's just a test, man. And there's other things you have to do.
Yeah.
Becoming a citizen in any other country, try to become a citizen in Japan.
Yeah.
10 years later, you're in.
Oh, yeah, because we know someone.
We cannot compare, and I guess a lot of people don't understand that. You cannot take the rest of the world and their immigration policies and their citizenship and naturalization policies or procedures and how they do it and compare it to the U.S. U.S. is the easiest out of all of them. Yes, it is. You can't even own property in Mexico unless you're married to a Mexican national. Did you know that?
Actually, yeah, I did.
Yeah, so do I. Because you know what? I lived in San Diego. The border was like 8-9 miles away.
Yeah.
So there's rules. There's lots of rules. You have other places that, unless
Japan's like that too,
like Norway or Denmark, and this has been a long time since I've been to Denmark. You couldn't stay in the country unless you were going to school.
Yeah.
So you had people there had been there 20 years, constantly going to school, taking their classes, beating the system. You know, all of it. And so every country is different. Every country has rules, and ours are ultra slack. But you know what happens when you enter the country illegally? And they say, we're going to give you a ticket. You better show up to court in 2 months. Okay.
Okay,
And what happens when they don't?
we're getting off
20
what I
years
was
later.
trying to finish saying.
All right, well, finish
which
saying
was
what you're saying.
the whole problem of scale. Again, the problem of scale versus right now we live in a country where it's pretty even, 50-50. Do not agree with the laws that ICE are trying to enforce, 50-50 or even less now, because both Democrats and Republicans feel this Epstein list needs to be handled. Files that are missing need to be found. Things need to be unredacted. I feel so much of the country wants to know about this evil cabal of children eating monster, horrible people. And I feel everything else from the Dow being up and down to aliens is just a distraction.
Yeah,
From that
I
and
agree.
from Iran.
But here's where I don't agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a distraction. It's always been there. It's just more stuff being piled on to what you already have piled on to.
Like I sent you that video where it was the dude talking about how Oprah appeared in the Epstein list.
Yes, of course.
And then there's the old school conspiracy of certain television talk hosts and the Kennedys.
I'm going to say,
You know?
when I would talk about this stuff with you before a podcast where we didn't actually talk about it, you'd get all mad, right? I said, let's look at the people eaters.
Yeah.
And you go back to all of our presidents are related to one king. And it's true. They are. Right? And all of that. And if you keep going, you're like Charlie Day gesticulating wildly at a newspaper taped board of just random weird shit.
Yeah.
It's just that things are piling more on you. The Epstein list has been out for a little while. It's been available to be released. Evidently, it doesn't take a lot to get it released.
But they're not releasing all of it.
Of course not.
Not only are they not releasing all of
and
it.
then let's go to the whole. There's even the new. We had to pile this one back on just in case the Epstein thing wasn't good enough for you. He's still alive
Oh, yeah.
because they're using the earlobe thing. His earlobes and one photo are attached, and in the death photo they're not attached. They did the same thing with Biden. His earlobes are attached, and now they're not attached. And how did Biden grow 6 inches? All this crazy stuff. It's the same thing. Next, it's going to be Tartaria is a real continent. And it was. When I went to school, we were taught that the Tartarian reign, or what do you call it? Like you had the Mongols, and you had the Moors, and you had Tartarians. They had an empire, kingdom, and it ran for a while. So it's not like it's a new thing. I don't understand. Is it like Lemuria or Mu? Like these missing continents? No, there was an actual, there's been lots of civilizations that showed up and disappeared. Some are written down, some are not.
What the heck? The Tartarian Empire is a group of pseudo-historical conspiracy theories, including ideas of a hidden past and mud floods, which originated as pseudo-scientific Russian nationalism.
Well, the mud flood thing occurred later. In the 80s, our curriculum was completely different than what we have now. And it's also been proven over time that curriculum is what gets paid to be printed in the history books, right? It's no longer you take the information that's out there and apply it and put it in the book. It's like, what do you really want to see?
Since 2016, conspiracy theories about the supposed lost empire of Tartaria have gained popularity on the internet, divorced from its original Russian nationalist frame.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not learn about this.
When I was taking college classes with this professor named Barney Barafaldi, who was this guy was cool, right? Because he used to have a thing called Scholars at Sea or Teachers at Sea. I can't remember the exact wording of it, where you could take college classes at night. Mm-hmm. And we did. But basically, they would fly a professor, a teacher, a trainer on board. They would have a rack that they slept in, eat all the food and do all the stuff, be on your ship and teaching college classes at night. And there was this guy from New York named Barney Barafaldi, very interesting fella. And that's what he did. So he seen all of the world by hopping on a flight, getting on a Navy ship, and taking a cruise. So 6 months in, 2 months in, however long his class was, is however long he would stay. So it's just weird. Like everywhere in the continent that you'd want to go, he's been. Like, it was a unique thing. And he was teaching us all about that when we did our our history classes. I took like 4 history classes from him, like Western Civilization 1 and 2, History of the World 1 and 2, and all of that jazz, man.
Oh,
And he taught class conversationally. He would tell you a story. And if you paid attention, you learned the history. If you didn't pay attention, you didn't get it. You failed your test miserably. But he talked about Lemuria and Mu and the Tartars and all that when it came to Russia, which was cool because guess where we were going?
right.
Russia. And he took that. He said that he traded places with the guy that was coming on board our ship because we were going to Russia and the guy didn't want to go to Russia. Barney was like, yeah, I want to go to Russia. So it was fun times. But yeah, all this stuff is going on. I still think that going back to the technology side, I still think that yes, admitting that there's stuff out there, and yes, saying we're going to investigate it, and then throwing in the nugget of, hey, you're giving away secrets is part of the game. And the game is we are amassing lots of military hardware to be able to take care of Iran should the situation exist, right? And China and Russia aren't sitting idly by either. They're flying in flights and loading things up and doing all this stuff just in case Iran has its own spring. So who knows? All right, what are you looking all weird for? Did I send you down a rabbit hole? Our podcast is gone completely off the rails. If you're still listening to the podcast and you have a pet and your pet likes snacks, like all pets do, if your pet is a dog and soon to be a cat.
Soon to be a cat.
Yeah, because, there's soon to be cat treats is what I was getting to. Don't make it weird. You should go to stop. You should go to Barley's Bites. We have a link in our show notes because everything we talk about in the podcast is available in our show notes at creepgeeks.com. Click on the link and get some high quality natural dog treats and soon to be cat treats for your pet, man. I just did an order because we need to get some more because they're super tasty and Jack's fat and he enjoys them.
Don't say that. He's sensitive.
He is sausage shaped.
He's
He is rotund.
plump sausage shape.
He is heavy.
I made a little joke and he got his feelings hurt. I was like, look at that cake. And he's just like,
Well, that's inappropriate. That's HR stuff. I mean, you can make a little joke about being rotund and sausage shaped, but you can't make a butt joke. It's 2026, man. Everybody gets offended at everything, and everybody has a side, and hardly anyone does research, including us. But yeah, you can get go to barleysbites.com, and we have a link, like I said, on our show notes, and you can get some top quality homemade dog treats for every doggo to enjoy. They are delicious, and Jack eats them. Everybody eats them. You know what I mean? Everywhere. What are you making that weird face for? I'm trying to get through this, and I can't.
know.
Your face.
so, okay. So,
Squirrels eat them. Anyway, all right, let me round it up. All right. So there is a coupon, an exclusive offer that you can use if you go and you use the code CreepGeeks at checkout. You get 10%.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie. I just made an order. I used it. I wasn't going to, but I'm like, let me make sure this works. Well, I do have a Cheap Geek YouTube channel, so I've been known to save $1.
you should put it on the YouTube channel too.
What?
Yeah, just next video you do have like Jack on your little workbench and have
Only if he's wearing that stupid flashlight helmet thing you bought him. So, I'm not going to lie. It looks silly, but he likes it.
He loves it.
So he can pee in the dark.
Yeah.
So it looks like Paw Patrol or
And
something.
he can spot rabbits. It's almost like he's like somebody who does like spot hunting with deer.
Yeah.
He sees a rabbit, he freezes and he's like, that's a rabbit, and he just stares at it and then he goes for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm stuck on the rabbit hole from me sending you an article this morning about 43 kids found in New York, and
If you really start looking, it's pretty scary. It's pretty.
yeah,
It's a scary thing because they're not just finding small, they're finding large amounts, and there's even larger amounts of kids that are being found. So it tells me that somehow, some way, maybe the networks of these child trafficking rings and stuff are being found out.
yeah, because so that was today or February 13th, right? November 5th, 47 children missing children were found in Buffalo, New York. This
Yeah.
morning was New York City. November was Buffalo, New York. 29 were in North Florida. 63 were found in Erie County, New York. What?
Yeah. You don't hear about it.
Oh,
And that's my thing. Why don't you hear about stuff like that? You actually have to look for it.
and then the article I sent
And then when
you.
you tell somebody,
Yeah.
they think you're a nut job.
Well, the article I sent you has a staggering report. In New York in 2025, 10,629 children under the age 18 were reported missing to police. 94% were automatically classified as runaways. By the end of the year, 10,600 cases were closed and 1,079 remained active. So that's still 1,000 kids.
Yeah. I think it's even worse than that. I don't think they're all runaways.
Yeah.
I think if you meet the criteria and somebody has a list, they're just marking stuff off a list. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the more you dig, the worse things actually get. With everything.
Yeah.
As far as the stock market, yes, it's going to go up and down. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So the people that really need to worry about it can tell you more better why you should worry about it. And for every person that worries about it, there's someone else who's not worrying about it. You know, oh, it's dropping, buy more, whatever, man. Mm-hmm. But, I can tell you about a money-making opportunity.
Oh.
Yes. Where you can basically take some diluted cleaner and then, be a pyramid scheme like Amway and stuff. Back in the day, that was a big pyramid schemes were, selling things were a big thing. It seemed like it was a huge problem when I was growing up. Yeah. Everything from Tupperware to
Amway.
yeah,
Avon.
Amway and all that. So somebody at Avon, yeah, for sure. Mary Kay, people were selling stuff. Mm-hmm. And then you had those weird parties where it was just the ladies and no one was allowed in the house. And it's just like, what are they doing? Filthy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So moving to the podcast, we do need to kind of talk a little bit about one of the last podcasts we had. We talked about earthquakes.
Yes.
Well, we've had another one. It's
I had
3.3 on the Richter scale.
Which was surprising because this is one of the biggest ones yet.
Now, hold on. You
Yeah.
told me, or you sent me the thing, and I looked at when this earthquake happened. It's like 12:17.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I woke up today.
Oh.
So, and before everybody gets all worked up, I went to bed at 6:30. So it's not like, he just, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, which is weird.
I guess there was a,
But it's under a lake
yeah.
in Charlotte. That's the kind of weird thing. It's a little bit further out
Mm-hmm.
than where we are at the Tennessee and South Carolina, and everybody button up in the mountains there.
And this particular area, it doesn't make sense for this to occur. Like Greg was saying, there's a lake there. Last year, the largest earthquake in the past 100 years in this area happened because it was a 5.1 magnitude earthquake that hit in Sparta.
Yeah.
So with dozens of aftershocks that continued to rattle through the state. And I'm like, that's, it makes sense here because we're like the mountains, Western North Carolina, mining and mountains
I'm just
shifting.
thinking that they're getting closer to finishing the underground
Okay.
cities.
No.
We have them. We do. Everybody's got them. I just watched the thing on Ancient Aliens. I haven't watched Ancient Aliens in a long time, but it was an episode where there's a manor in England, and underneath it is a whole city, and it was built during World War II. And at the end of World War II, the government just didn't give it back. And it's literally a city. And you don't really enter through the manor. You go 2 miles away and enter in a tunnel, and then you can drive it.
Okay.
2 miles away is a tunnel to take you into this underground city. It's all government, clandestine. It's supposed to be like the Roswell, possibly, or Area 51, I should say. It was pretty interesting, but being as we are America, ours are bigger and have more flavor. Yep.
Okay.
So we did mention Well, I mean, the earthquake thing is just sort of, we're interested in it because it happens here, and we do the same thing tied to deep underground military bases and tunneling and all that sort of thing. But there's no proof really of any of that, except for the ones that are actually already there. And there's also no proof of Thunderbird, although it does make sense, a Thunderbird being a large bird.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite cryptids because to me, yeah, that's possible. Why can't you have a big bird?
Yeah.
There's already big birds out there. Why not a bigger bird, right?
Yeah.
So, but also it's boring. Thunderbirds are boring. Nobody likes them.
Why?
I don't know. Because people have terrible taste. I mean, like Bigfoot's more exciting, right? Sasquatch and Nessie and all that stuff, and Flatwoods Monster and all that's crazy, right? Lizard Man. Thunderbirds nobody cares about.
Okay.
Well, there's that small town in Pennsylvania that does. So they're doing a thing with the Thunderbird.
All right.
Yeah, they're going to celebrate it. I think that's actually pretty cool. Now, the picture they use is actually a crane.
Yep.
But, the Thunderbird being overlooked the way it is, I think it's pretty cool that they're going to, celebrate the Thunderbird. Pretty soon there'll be a festival and stuff. So probably run down the name of or the types of festivals they could have related to cryptids. And they got down well, I guess we're down to cryptids. Let's do Thunderbird. Right. And so that's Derry, the Derry borough. Their mayor, Nathan Bundy, did an official proclamation saying that Wednesday the 25th is to be Thunderbird Day in the community.
Oh.
And so it's, the massive and mysterious bird associated with awe, storms, and unexplained encounters remains one of the more compelling stories of the broader lore of our region. So they're promoting it said the announcement was cleverly timed to promote a forthcoming edition of the program Expedition X, whereas in the show we'll search for the winged cryptid around the Derry borough and the surrounding area.
Yeah.
And, they have already embraced Bigfoot. So now they're adding Thunderbird to it. You know what? Go for it. I say, heck yeah. I like the Thunderbird. And, you can read the article on Coast to Coast AM if you'd like. And we provide a link for you to be able to do so. Yeah. Written by Tim Banal, who writes all their articles that I think are interesting anyway.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. We've talked about food shortages, and we talked about, why are these food factories just burning up, blowing up, and all that stuff. We only had like 5 of them, and they're all, and then magically that's related, or could be seen to be related to food shortages, food hikes. All of a sudden, foods are being reformulated. Yeah, and so it's kind of a thing, right? And then we sort of said, we'll keep our eye out and see if we'll see any more. And then here we go. In Hertford County, Purdue, right?
Yeah.
Had an explosion.
Yeah.
And we also had mentioned that Purdue had a problem on the Eastern Shore with a truck driver who went over.
Yes.
And so I don't know what's going on. And here's what's kind of weird, right? The widow of the truck driver who went over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel says he was familiar with the bridge. I mean, this guy, he rode the bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're a truck driver and you're going over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, which is a marvel into itself, and we used to live really close to it. It's like 21 miles long or however long that thing is. It's long. It has its own haunted history too, where people have died in the making of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, got poured into the columns and all that stuff. But anyway, this truck driver who went over the side, he crashed through the guardrail of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. So basically, he was following another truck.
Yeah.
And he went over. He knows the bridge. If you're a truck driver, trust me, you know that bridge.
Yeah.
You're looking for high wind warnings, all sorts of stuff, because the wind can get so strong across there, it can blow you right over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel.
Yep.
And so it happened in pretty shallow water. Ronnie Andrews, he was 61. He was basically killed when his tractor trailer smashed through the southbound right guardrail at 6:40 a.m. and went into the bay.
Gosh.
And so the crash happened on the upslope of the bridge that spans the North Channel near Fishman Island, and lane restrictions were in place, and repairs were underway by Monday afternoon to fix it.
Yeah.
So Lovey Andrews, that's his wife, she said, he began as a trucker before they were married. This guy's an experienced trucker. He's been doing it for years, right? So for the previous 5 years, he's worked for Purdue at the processing plant in Accomack County, Virginia, which is about 50 miles north of the crash site. And, she said, my wife's his wife said that he's familiar with the bridge.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Ronnie Andrews spoke with his wife by phone the night before. He was in good spirits, didn't mention any fatigue or anything like that. Because, I mean, he's got a good job of it. If you're driving, he's not over the road necessarily, right?
yeah.
Because those guys, they drive. And it's like it's tough when your husband's gone, and, on your days off. So now, as a side note, the last time a trucker was killed going over the guardrail at Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel was in December 2020.
Yep.
And they found his body like 4 months later, right? 100 miles away at the Outer Banks.
Oh, gosh.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But we've been keeping track of this possible food shortage ever since early
2020.
This new iteration of it.
Yeah, the
Early
latest.
January, because there was a week in January where I saw an article and it basically said within days, 2 different chicken processing plants had caught fire.
Yeah.
The one that I can think of offhand was this place in Georgia, Walton County. It was like 14,000 chickens killed when poultry house catches fire at the processing plant. But then, I think it was a little bit later, another processing plant had caught on fire, and it was across the border. So I think it was right on the other side of the Georgia border.
Yeah.
And then Andrews, North Carolina, it was at the end of January, 86,000 chickens die in industrial chicken coop fire that causes $5 million in damages.
Yeah. That was the last one that we talked to. I think
Yeah.
that was also Purdue.
Well, it's Andrews. It's what do you call it? Andrews Valley Farms.
Wow.
Yeah. And because once you get past a certain point in North Carolina, Purdue quits being the big guys and it ends up being Spring Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and part of that's
So,
because,
Yeah, just names. But Yeah.
the further away with Purdue being where it is, you can supply
Yeah.
up north.
but
Anyway,
then,
it's a logistics thing, but we'd also talked about manufacturing the food processing plants. There's multiples that make the garbage food that we all enjoy.
yeah.
Burning up, shutting down.
Speaking of which, Koch Foods plant in Ohio, massive explosion, killed people and
When did that happen?
food a week ago, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
So prepare for the inflationary prices to stay the same, and also be aware that food is being reformulated to make food out of crap that shouldn't be made into food so that they can call it food and save a buck. So I'm looking at you, Reese's.
Yeah.
And like I told Omi a long time ago that they don't taste the same, because I used to love Reese's peanut butter cups. Omi would bring them all. That was my jam.
He loved Reese's so much that his little congratulations YouTube thing was I got him a Reese's peanut butter cake.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah. So
And also, I have gone on record and had the giant Reese's cups. It was like 2 pounds. And, it's kind of a personal challenge. I ate those. It felt weird for a while.
what's wrong with
But they were good. And then I remember distinctly after, in 2020, broke my neck, did the hospital thing. They put cadaver bone in me and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember telling Omi, these don't taste the same. And my thought was, maybe this cadaver bone, with the theory that someone else's bones and organs and stuff, you kind of become a blended thing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't like Reese's anymore.
Oh.
And I was like, man, because I ate them and they did not taste good. Well, come to find out, they've been slowly changing their formula, Reese's. Mm-hmm. And evidently, the owner, creator, Reese's, right? The company's since been sold a long time ago, but the great grandson was like, this is not the same. This is not the same formula. It's not the same taste. It's not the same. Because Reese's was pretty natural. It was peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah.
Now there's and on the back of the little labels and stuff, that's what it said. And you look at them now, it's full of stuff you can't pronounce, and it's not even real food. And allegedly, you can go to other countries and get Reese's and other candy type products and stuff like that, and they have what they used to be, like chocolate, peanut butter. Here, it's a laundry list of chemicals and stuff. And I want to know, why is that allowed? And they tell you straight on the packaging, oh, we're just, changing it to make it taste better or whatever. It's like, no, it's not. It tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
They tried to make a statement along the lines of the new formulation allows them to turn it into more creative things. I'm sorry, I don't want a Reese's that has a white coating. I don't want a Reese's shaped like an Easter egg.
You know the cheap Halloween candy and the cheap Easter candy?
The ones that start with a P?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like. It's not real. You know.
Sand.
Yeah, weird dirt.
So, yeah. And I don't even like them. And it also explains why some of these like candy across the globe websites, why it costs $9 for a Cadbury bar from the UK. Or
because they got rules.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, you can't put chemicals in here. Which, as far as that goes, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And so I wish that we would be able to embrace the difference. I mean, think about like Coke. Coke's like, we're going to give you a Coke that's made with real sugar. And people are like freaking out because it's good. Coke with real sugar is delicious. Same thing with Pepsi with real sugar is also delicious. You don't need all these extra chemicals and stuff. All these companies are making profits and they're making enough money that this shouldn't be an issue. They talk about cost and things. How is it?
How is it a cost when you're doing so good?
You're making record profits. What are you stockpiling your money for? I don't know. Speaking of stockpiling money, this was kind of a thing that got me thinking. So if you're a veteran, right, and you've served, chances are you've had meals ready to eat. They come in and we've had them. They're great for camping and stuff like that. Emergencies or whatever. You're just trapped in your car because it snowed 2 inches of snow in Texas and you're stuck on a highway. Mm-hmm. Crack open that MRE, you can eat, right? And they're made. They're basically meals ready to eat, quick and easy. You can eat and keep going. Well, evidently a lot of these are poisonous, man. They're contaminated with pesticides. So you got military people eating these MREs because that's what they give you to eat. You pick your flavor, chili mac or whatever it is, and then you eat it. And now they're full of pesticides. Some have banned veterinary drugs in them and heavy metals in these meals ready to eat that soldiers have been eating. Service members.
That's awful.
And if you buy them from places, surplus stores and stuff like that, you're eating them too. And so when you have a veteran who gets out of the service, experiences health issues, and they file for veterans benefits because they're having issues. And just so you know, if you have never served in the military and you hear about veterans getting benefits, they don't get the benefits. They have to earn the benefits. You have to prove everything that's wrong with you. And you're effectively, for all intents and purposes, doing a court case where you are fighting the government saying, hey, I have these issues that were directly caused by my service and, and they should get their disability, that kind of thing. Now and then you have stuff like this, and so people think that veterans don't deserve their benefits or that they're a handout. They're absolutely not. And you don't just get them. You have to prove it.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that how can these meals ready to eat just basically fall below the USDA standards for any of this stuff, and you have these dangerous levels of Chinese pesticides and GMO type stuff.
My thing is
that are banned by the Chinese and the Russian military.
Some of them actually have and
they're in our food, or the
packaged
MREs.
water in some of them. There's packaged water, and it's a flat of water.
Yeah,
and if anything, everybody's worried about microplastics and stuff, so you use a different type of plastic, which makes it more susceptible to even more pesticides getting into it. And so now you're just straight drinking the pesticide.
And, they have to have preservatives in them to make that stuff last for as long as it lasts. You can grab an MRE, it's been around for 5 years, and eat it, and it's just as crappy as it was on the day it was made, but it's allegedly edible, right? So in previous testing of school lunches and fast foods, the organization called Moms Across America found a concerning number of meals containing harmful contaminants, many at alarming levels. Right. And so they didn't like that with the school lunches. And so they basically were talking about, hey, since this falls under the jurisdiction of the Department of Agriculture, you guys can take care of it. Yeah. So that was some things, right? So recognizing the urgent need for better sourced, higher quality food, the Moms Against, not Against America, Moms Across America.
Did you actually have it in there?
Yeah. I got to change that. They commissioned an independent study or laboratory, right? And they tested 40 military meals and meals ready to eat to assess whether safer, higher quality options are achievable. And so did the military grade pertain to their food? Because military grade is supposed to be tough and usable and all that stuff. That's not always the case. But, did they actually have higher quality? And if so, could the USDA be convinced to apply those standards to school lunches? So they're saying, hey, these school lunches are terrible. Let's compare them to military lunches, right? Government. Mm-hmm. And so if it works for the troops, then maybe we can have these same rules and standards and stuff applied to school lunch program. And so the USDA could apply the same rules, right? Makes sense. Mm. Well, they did not. The food was bad. And,
I can't.
Yeah, so that's going to open the door for some other stuff. So they tested the military food, right, as per MAA's director. And they say, hey, let's go ahead and test it. And they did it with direct communication and talking to a Chinese general and talking about the troops and stuff. And they said, hey, look what's going on with this. And pretty much they're like, no, man, we didn't like that. We did not like that.
Nope.
So not good enough for Chinese, good enough for us. So some summary points. They did 40 samples. They did 16 samples from 6 different military bases and 24 MREs, and they were tested for toxic chemicals and nutrients. Yeah. And they contain ingredients like wheat, corn, and meat likely grown, raised, or imported. And they're saying during the Biden administration. They're not trying to make this political, but it seems like it's starting to become political.
Moms
Pesticides.
across America.
Yeah, I know it's a sort of a political thing.
Yeah.
But pesticides, 100% of military food samples tested contain harmful pesticide residues.
Yep.
100% of the pesticides found in military cafeteria food are manufactured in China and other countries. Well, if you get your food from China and China doesn't care about pesticides, they only care about the pesticides for their people and their troops. They could give a crap less of where it goes, which is a problem. Then you're going to get that. So they found veterinary drugs, including ractopamine, and some other stuff I can't pronounce.
Oh, man.
Glyphosate. They found that.
That's
high
the one
levels
that they
of
have
glyphosate.
They have been fighting about that one for a while now, that glyphosate one.
Yeah, and heavy metals. They
yeah.
got arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury, and aluminum. What do they grow in the food for these MREs in a junkyard?
Huh.
Yeah. Check this out. So some of the samples, like I said, contain arsenic, cadmium, and aluminum, right, were found at levels of 430% to 17,300% higher than the EPA's drinking water guidelines. So it's already 430% bad.
Yeah.
But that range goes up to 17,300% bad. You might as well go in a junkyard and see a little puddle of water on top of an old 55-gallon drum with a rainbow film across it and drink that. This is like Fallout level.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's Fallout. There's a mud puddle. Let me drink out of the mud puddle. This is what you're getting. And some of these military meals showed mineral levels 5 to 10 times higher than school lunches. So they started out saying, hey, we think school lunches are bad. Yeah. Let's test them against the military. And now they're finding that the military stuff is incredibly bad, making the bad school lunches the winner, of which is the less shitty to have, right? Which is the less danger.
Yeah.
Imagine their surprise. This moms, whatever. So I'm reading this. I'm like, this is crazy. So
I want to know, did they test these school lunches from multiple schools in America, or did they just go to like one state?
No, they tested from different places, and they also tested with military food from
MREs.
6 different bases and MREs and stuff. Yeah.
Did they go find some dusty bunker in San Diego and then some old bunker in?
Well, bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Allergies.
And bless you. Bless you. So they're going back into the Biden administration. A lot of these MREs have a shelf life. It's like in between, I don't know, 5 and 15, 20 years, depending on how they're made.
Oh, 6 military-based cafeterias. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so during that time period, you can have a lot of changeover in who actually makes these MREs, who bids the contract to get the MREs. Right. And this is where people start talking about the military industrial complex. And you've got like, I went right out of my head. You know, like who supplied all the food and everything for Afghanistan and all that. It was, what's the name of that government organization? It's not even, it's a contractor. It's going to bug me. That's a whole other conspiracy.
UN World Food Program, WFP.
No, it's Cheney was part of it. Dick Cheney. It was huge when.
You said the World Bank,
No,
various NGOs,
these companies could. This company could buy those organizations.
Supreme Food Service.
No, you just reading out food companies.
No, I'm reading out what AI told me.
AI is garbage.
That's true.
Dick Cheney Company. Google. Halliburton.
Oh,
Yeah, Halliburton could buy those organizations. Halliburton's huge. Halliburton, Vanguard, that's a whole conspiracy you don't want to go
but they
down.
don't do food.
They do
However,
everything.
The Cheney Brothers CBI is a major Florida food-based food
No,
service. Okay.
you can own a company, and that company can own other companies. So Halliburton directly doesn't do food, but they own companies that do. They own companies that make things, and other companies own other companies. And then you have like Vanguard owns everything from, so it's, we don't want to talk too loud. Our podcast will get banned again. And then the 6 people that listen to it won't know what happened to us.
Okay.
Like what happened before. So yeah, it's, I need to go back and say how many people have actually eaten these. What's the average of how many of these things got consumed by military members, right? So each year, more than 1.5 billion U.S. military meals and 37 million meals ready to eat are served to active duty service members. Think about that for a second. If you're eating these military meals, because that's what you eat, especially if you're deployed, and you're eating MREs and they're poison, it's always the dose that makes the poison. You eat it once or twice, you're probably going to be fine. Imagine eating that 365. So what's going to happen 10, 15 years from now when service members are just having some random cancer, feeling bad, and they have to go apply for benefits and then have to prove, hey, man, I feel terrible. And I can't tell you why. We actually talked in the last podcast about what happens when you give a rat or a mouse 17 teaspoons of ketchup every day, and all of a sudden you're shocked when that ketchup has given that mouse cancer.
So there's 1.34 million active duty military personnel right now. If all of them have eaten these MREs, and the United States currently has 349 million people, wow, we're really going down. That's like more than 1%, right? I can't count.
It's too much. It's a lot.
That is a lot of people. I cannot do math, y'all.
100% of the military food samples tested positive for pesticides with up to 62 detectable pesticide residues. Right? 100% of the pesticides detected in U.S. military food are known to be produced in China. What if China is doing this on purpose?
Of course.
No, they could.
No,
They could totally do it on purpose.
remember we also talked about this on the podcast when everybody first started checking out AliExpress and Temu, and somehow your order was coming with free seeds.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Well, my favorite, you buy the electronics and people are like, why does this have Wi-Fi?
Oh,
And it's like, why does my lint roller have Wi-Fi? Is it a spy thing? Of course it is.
just in time for my big conference in Asheville. Somebody is going around and installing dangerous QR codes on all the parking meters
Of course.
that leads you to overseas websites.
Nice.
And
Welcome to China.
And if you have your credit card information on your phone, it grabs it.
Of course it does.
Yeah. And then
your uncle who has a Faraday cage thing that he keeps his phone in his front pocket. You're like, well, and guess what?
And Asheville had the nerve to say that basically you're still responsible for your parking fee.
Of course. Of course they are. It's just as bad as skimmers.
Yeah.
Like
So
when I went and filled up a gas one time, the skimmer got me and you thought I'd been abducted by the cartel.
No, I was really mad that you had decided to book a vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
so I went and
cruise
got
and
some
plane
gas.
tickets.
No, it was basically a vacation in Jamaica.
Yeah.
With a cruise and everything. Homie's all infuriated that I'm going to Jamaica without her. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
And I can't get a burrito from Warrior Gas.
The thing was
so
that the best part of the whole thing was like, where can I book airfare to Jamaica?
Yeah.
Or no, airfare to Florida. And then from Florida, you take the cruise to Jamaica, stay in Jamaica for 3 nights total, get back on the cruise, come back and fly home, $600.
Great deal.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, maybe I should call and change the flight. And we could just go. You know what I mean? But they wouldn't give me information. So I'm like, all right, guess what? Stolen.
So mad.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, it's terrible, man. They're talking about all the fungicides and stuff that they found, along with the Chinese pesticides. One applesauce container contained 1,300 ppb, parts per billion, of total pesticide residue. So over 60% of the fruit that Americans eat is imported and may not be regulated for toxic or banned pesticides. Huh. What I want to know is, why is 60% of our fruits imported?
And why do we have
our own?
Why do we have neighbors down the road who set their field on fire every year?
Because they get paid to, because they can't grow anything. They're not allowed to. And if they get caught growing anything, then they lose their subsidy.
Yeah.
And if they decide, that's okay, I don't want the subsidy, they get in trouble for growing and selling things. See, and
yeah,
that's another conspiracy. I personally think that as much as we can get to, I don't want to say isolationist, but we should maybe look at like, hey, how about let's try putting America first for a while. At least we can have our own food.
Yeah.
Get some Florida oranges. I mean, there's very few things we can't grow here. Because, I mean, if anything, how are we one of the wealthiest nations on the planet, but also our health is awful? Maybe it's because we're eating contaminated apples and junk. Especially that glyphosate thing.
Yeah. Moms across America have actually been not on a warpath about that particular ingredient for years now. Like I'm talking like 2018, right? So to find that this chemical is still active and lawmakers are dragging their feet on this chemical is kind of supports their whole argument that people are not looking out for us.
No, they're absolutely not.
Yeah.
They never will.
Yeah.
Especially if it comes to the dollar. Don't get me wrong, I love capitalism. But at the same time, I think somebody needs to say, hey, you can do that. Go ahead. But you're going to pay $1 billion fine every 3 months.
But they don't.
Because that's capitalism.
Because instead of the $1 billion fine, well, let's reduce that fine with air credits and all that stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
you mean your carbon offset credit?
yes.
Which is just a fine you pay?
Yes.
So that you don't ever have to fix the stuff?
Because then I can
let me tell you,
mitigate
that
it.
carbon, that stuff has been going on for a long time. I remember in the 90s when I was taking environmental classes and stuff so I could go and work for OSHA and junk like that. That was the thing. And the whole Montreal protocols and stuff was only there to tax non-third world countries. So they'd have the Paris Accords, right? You would have these countries show up and say, hey, we're third world. So we don't have to try to, basically the Clean Air Act and everything. We don't have to try to do better because we just can't do it. China was third world. England was third world. France was third world. Everybody was third world when it came to do it. But, America wasn't. So we were footing the bill to buy carbon tax, or was it carbon offset? They had a different name for it, but basically to buy the carbon tax to help other countries and stuff. And then the countries like China are like, I think we can do this in 20 years. And they're like, okay, sounds good. They haven't done anything except get huge.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Okay.
Are we done with the podcast?
I don't know. I'm just grumpy
Yes.
because chemicals in the food and
So we're going to talk about two more things, and I think we'll wrap up the podcast because we went on a rant. And this is a Taco Bell fueled rant, by the way. That's what we had for dinner. Taco Bella, which is delicious, by the way. I'm trying to hack the Taco Bell value menu by adding certain things to a burrito. Can you get an excellent Taco Bell value for like under $3? I mean, under $4. I think you can, and I'm almost there. So if you're listening to the podcast and you have a Taco Bell hack, let me know. And don't say something dumb like, oh, I'd like to add, because I'm already doing that. So let's talk about something we all know to be true. If you've ever owned a cat, but now you can hear it, your cat doesn't care about you because cats are more independent than dogs. Yes. So your cat could care less about you. That's what it's saying. Your cat doesn't care about you. Felines are more independent than dogs, and they don't need their owners emotionally at all, according to a recent study. Now, we know that's not true for dogs.
yeah.
Dogs need you emotionally.
Yeah.
Because they have lived with us long enough that it is a proven symbiotic relationship. Right? Mm-hmm. And we all know dogs are great, cats are terrible, right? So dogs are friendly, cats are aloof.
Aloof.
Yeah. So there's a new study that confirmed that this cliche is actually true. New evidence suggests that cats are more independent than dogs, so they don't need you as much or at all.
Okay.
While dogs look to their owners for reassurance and protection, cats are no more likely to seek comfort from their owner than a stranger. So you don't mean anything. You're like, I love you and that stranger, right? Experts say that while dogs depend on us, making them more like our fur children, cats are entirely self-reliant. I enjoy cats. Cats will come over and say, hey, man, what's up? And then get on back to the business of leaving me alone. I like dogs too, but I don't like it when they're too needy. So cats may get along with us, but they don't depend on us, for help or security. They don't need what we can provide, basically. So cats are like our kids, or dogs are like our kids, but cats, that's not the case. And the reason for that, or part of the reason for that, is they say that they're still able predators. They can still kill things. They can still catch their own food. They don't need us. They can catch their own food. They can grow their own gardens. They can get their own water. They can store it. They can do all the prepper stuff that we should probably be doing as a nation right now. See how I segued that into grow your own food? Because the food we're getting imported is bad. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dogs are more social, and they've pretty much adopted humans into their pack.
Well, that's because they're more social with other cats.
Yeah. And there's like, because I'm in a Facebook group about animals, but like, okay, so lions have prides, and then other large cats are mostly solo as well. And it's from those large cats that eventually all the way down, subset, you get house cats.
Well, I mean, cats were in Egypt. Mm-hmm. Was it Anubis? Cats were the guardian for Anubis?
Bast. Anubis. Bast.
The dead?
No. Anubis was the dog and dead. Egyptian.
Well, it's allegedly they can see, beyond what dogs and what humans can see. They can see into the underworld. I thought cats were protectors against demons and stuff.
Yeah.
That's why they don't need us.
They protect the home. They protect fertility. So there was Bast or Bastet, and then there was also, I forgot, Sekhmet was a warrior lioness and had a lion head.
Yeah.
Bast was the one with the black cat head.
So basically, there's no evidence of cat owner attachment. Cats may tolerate or even like people, but they absolutely don't need us. Whereas dogs show strong reliance on human support when they face a problem, whereas cats do not. So dogs are stressed when they're often left alone, and this stress cannot be efficiently eased only by the presence of the owner. As Jack sits on the couch next to me and howls when you leave. I'm like, I am right here, man. Just, oh, she's gone. What do I do?
I put up the doggy gate at work and went to go say hi yesterday to people who were visiting to talk to us about an event. I barely made it to my boss's door before, woo, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
He needs to stop that.
Yeah. And one of my coworkers, she said, what in the world?
He's so, I watched the video of this guy or this family owns like 3 huskies. Mm-hmm. And the lady, it's like, can you believe this? She was standing around the corner. Mm-hmm. They were howling. In the video, she had went and shut the front door.
Yeah.
And they started howling, and she's standing there, and she's like, and she poked her head around the corner, like, what are you guys doing? And they were like, oh my God, she's back. And it's been like 10 seconds, and they were like, oh no, she's gone. So there we go. Cats don't need you. Mm-hmm. They tolerate you. Dogs need you, and are even, in some cases, too needy.
Stop.
Come on, dogs are needy, man. I mean, come on. It's all right, though. And then according to this link, where this is from the dailymail.co.uk, there's also handy graphics and stuff to show you what your cat's expressions mean. So if you want to look that up, you can do that on your own time. Because I don't know how accurate that really is, but we've been talking for a long time. I think we're going to wrap the podcast up with this last thing.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I actually have to click the link because it's a Facebook link.
Oh, what about the
Remember at the beginning of the podcast where I said if this goes long or we go off track, we're just not going to talk about some of the 13 to 14 articles we have listed? And you're like, okay. That's because they don't want it to go too late because you have an early work morning tomorrow. Uh-huh. Yeah, this is why we have these conversations. Yeah, if only my wife would listen.
Nope.
But no. What were you say we were going to talk about?
I don't remember.
A good answer.
It's so late.
Yeah. So I put this in here. This came from Facebook, and it's basically a post, and it's in German at this German place. I don't know if it's a town or whatever, but basically, this guy says, I haven't experienced this in my 15 years of work so far.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a bird who went to the emergency room to get some help. He's just like a seabird.
Yeah.
He's not just some random bird. He's like a seabird. So he went and waited for somebody to open the door so he could go in and get a hook removed from his bill. He knew where he needed to go, so he did. He stood there and he waited. The door opened up and he went in.
He knocked on the window.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, I need your help. So cats don't need you, right? But this bird, I think that's amazing because I think that animals are getting smarter, and this is part of it. They're starting to become more aware of where they can get help and what to become part of the thing. I don't know. What do you call it when animals get smarter, become better part of your society? So that's probably what it is.
I don't know.
So I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So he went and got some help.
Yeah.
And then we see all these videos, this stuff that you see on TikTok and, the shorts and the reels and stuff where, it's probably not true. Somebody takes a video and they say, and this killer whale came to ask for help. And it's just tourist footage of somebody, petting a killer whale or whatever. And they play the sad music and stuff. And so you're like, I kind of think this is fake, but it's kind of an okay little story. But this bird actually went and knocked on the door and said, hey man, I need some help. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Yep. What do you got to say about that?
Cool.
All right. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, I do appreciate you taking time to listen to the podcast where we've been kind of rambled on. Kind of went off in a little bit of a tangent type direction, but that's okay. We don't do that often. So it kind of is what it is. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know. But yeah, this has been episode 355, season 10 of Creep Geeks Podcast. Anything you want to say?
No, that's
Follow
it.
us on the socials.
Yeah.
So if you look up Creep Geeks, that's where we're at. Anyway, see you later. Take it easy. Bye, Sickle.
Bye.